I'm Floyd. This is World of Tanks, obviously. Rather than and the Batchat. Oh, this is the Batchat, and I'm having to relearn this tank. It used to when I used to love this tank. It was a tier 9 medium, and it used to turn like it was on rails. And then they moved it up to a tier 10, and they took its turning ability away. But gave it the ability to, although they changed the way the tracks work, so now it can traverse on its own axis, so you can turn without moving left or right, whereas before, when you hit left or right, it used to lurch forward and do a turn to the left or to the right. Oh, no, fortunately he's not loaded either, that AMX, that's why. I'll get out of there, otherwise I would have took a hit. Which meant it used to turn like it was on rails. It was fantastic. You could circle mouses and anything, any tank that you managed to corner off on your own and you had a little bit of room to manoeuvre, they were pretty much foobar, because you could even outturn turrets and, well, basically go for a whole reload and not get hit, and just by staying at the back of their tank. Once you loaded, you'd generally obliterate them. Like I say, with mouses, you'd have to generally do it in more than one clip. So if you got one on your own, and their team wasn't available to help them, they were in trouble. Not so much anymore, because it doesn't turn like it used to. It's not as agile. It's still as fast, and the traverse on its own axis does come in handy in tight spots. Where, as before, if you was hiding behind a small building and you needed to turn round, it used to be a right palaver, because obviously the way it lurched and moved forward, it was odd. So when you turn, basically you would move forward and turn, whereas now you can just turn. So tight spots were always difficult, so you tried to avoid them, whereas now you don't have to. But turning on the move is not as good. Traversing around tanks and stuff, still, you can't just treat it like that anymore, and that's the bit I've struggled with. Because when it was a tier 9, I did really well on this tank. I think I had like 51% win rate overall. It's not brilliant, but it was okay, you know. I was happy with it. Let's take him out.
Enemy armor is hit.
Ah, I missed him. Oh well. So I'm having to relearn this vehicle. It's basically the long-winded way of saying, or the shorthand of what I've been saying is I'm having to relearn this tank. So I've been doing it over a period of time. Not playing it too often, because I've got so many tanks to play that it's when I remember, generally. So we got five in the clip. It's around about a 40-second reload, but I have BIA vents on this, and I think it brings it down to something like 36, 37 seconds, which is okay. It's not it's not brilliant, but it's not 40 seconds. You save a little bit.
Enemy armor is
Yeah, he
destroyed.
came back. I'm happy with that. Right, probably. Okay. I'm going to do a reload. Keep an eye on the time. We get 2 shells in the container. Right, yeah. So we get the Leopard. We're going to help this guy because he's going in. I was going to pull out. Originally, but. He's going in, can't leave him, got a great gun, we can't let that gun just get destroyed, so...
Penetration. Enemy armor
Right, now
is
we've got to back
damaged.
off. 36 seconds. Which isn't too bad. I know it's only 4 seconds off 40, but 40 seems really terrible. And you pull some back and you're quite pleased, frankly. Right, so I'm having to manoeuvre out, take the long way. Just try and get unspotted generally. Nearly there, nearly there. So if you haven't had one, the line is actually quite good. I say that. Once you get to the, if you're thinking of coming down the French line, the AMX 12t onwards, it's really good. That's a little light scale. And then you've got the AMX 1375 and the AMX 1390. Again, two great tanks. Then the Lorraine. Now, Lorraine was a tier 8, and that was... I used to do really well in the Lorraine as a tier 8. Didn't do so well as a 9 for some reason. I mean, nothing really changed. I gave it a few more hit points. The gun didn't really change as far as I'm aware, but it was good enough anyway, so it's just odd. I did sell the Lorraine, but I never sold the Batchat. I just couldn't get around to it. I remember when I was on my way, I wanted it so much, and when I got there, I was happy until they nerfed it, and then. But I could never get around to selling it, so I'm learning it again, which is good. See if I can light something up over there. It's got a decent view range on it. I think the view range is stocked around about 400, and I've got. I believe I have. Right, okay. Let's try and think of remember the equipment I got on. Let's try and get a shot on him first. You can't have a rammer. You can't on these ones. So it'll be gun lane drive, vents, and optics. It's around between shots. It's got to be around just over 2.5 seconds. I'd say. About 2.7 something. Oh, he'd well and truly moved by that point, wouldn't he? Totally wasted that clip. Oh well. ST1, right, turn. See, the turning circle is not brilliant. It's alright, but it's not. It used to kind of speed up as you turned. That's the way it used to go. Okay, it's building there. Nasty hit. Oh, large repair kit. Very important for these, for this kind of tank. I'd say the repair skill is very important on this as well, because you don't really want to be repairing your tracks too often, because if your MRAC goes, you're looking at nearly a 1.5 minute reload.
Enemy armor is destroyed.
Oh, that actually worked out alright. Down to my last 5 HE. No, 8p. Carry 10 gold in this, I've just noticed. I'm not sure why. I don't carry any HE, I don't see the point. It takes too long to reload, so it's AP all the way. And I've got 10 gold, so 2 clips of gold. I'm not sure why that is, but I expect when you get to the last 2 clips, you probably need all the penetration you can get, so. They're going to, prototype's going to cap, and we're going to go flying down the other end. Only because it's fun to drive this thing, so I might as well see if I can go and find the last tank. It's an odd map, this one. If you're in the wrong tank, it can be a nightmare. It seems to match the fast mediums okay. Some TDs. Don't like this tank in the E100 waffle trigger. It's just you're too easily spotted. And yet the Panzer IV, the tier 9 version, is the baby waffle trigger. It is rather good on this map. Oh, and there he is. No. So, not a brilliant game, but not a completely useless one either. So, I didn't do terrible. I didn't do brilliant, but I didn't do terrible. I managed to drag it into the top 5, so I'm happy with that. Anyway, that's the Batchat. Thanks for watching.